lot of guys out there in the world, especially, guys selling dating courses, YouTube gurus that, you know, they try to send a message to the general male population that getting girls is easy, that it's as simple as learning how to speak to a woman, going up to a woman and speaking to her, right? And likewise, a lot of these guys advocate for that. And it is true that most men have to step out of their shell to some extent. But what a lot of these men don't tell you, right, or also tell you, is that it is a numbers game. That's because these guys approach tons of women, and they think if they approach hundreds of women, thousands of women, they're bound to get a few yeses eventually. And even though that is true, and some of these men kind of do good things to get some results to a certain extent, right? Let's introduce the idea that maybe just because a solution works sometimes doesn't mean it's necessarily effective, right? So let's introduce that idea. And let's also introduce the idea that getting a healthy relationship with a woman that you're compatible with may be more challenging than most men would care to realize. And this is not to frame it in a negative mindset. This is to make it seem like you're not going crazy when you're in a dating market. And a lot of the things that you think about and a lot of the things that you go through, a lot of men go through, right? So, there are three reasons that I like to keep that in mind, right? And the first reason is not every girl is right for you, right? There are some guys, dating gurus on the market that go out to the clubs, that go out at night, work out, got a great physique. They kind of try to talk to every girl, right? And, they'll have stories of doing stuff with the girl, right? Maybe they'll have done stuff with the girls here and there. But these are guys that operate with the assumption that all girls are technically good, right? All girls are technically someone that they should go for. And this couldn't be further from the truth, right? There are some girls in society you should completely stray away from. There are some girls in society that consistently do evil things to people, especially to men, right? This is not to say that not every person is like that. Of course, not every person is like that. But let's introduce the idea that sometimes you'll enter a relationship and the relationship becomes unhealthy not because of you, but because step one, you entered a relationship with someone who was possibly evil or someone who wanted to destroy you, right? So once you keep that in mind, right, that not every girl is the right girl for you, right? You'll keep that in mind when you watch these dating gurus on the internet that open the door to just about any girl. They try to get any girl that they can get. And likewise, they might get some results, possibly more results than other men, but they also deal with a lot more negatives. They possibly deal with all sorts of different types of accusations, toxic behavior, toxic relationships that don't last a long time. And a lot of these guys think, oh, it's just part of the game, that's just how it is. No, it's part of the game if you're with the relationship with an unhealthy person, right? So that's reason number one, right? Not every girl is the right girl for you, and it takes a while to accept. Reason number two, right, is you have to consider that not every relationship is going to grow healthily, right? Maybe sometimes you entered a friendship or relationship with a person, things were going great, then you guys suddenly fell apart, right? And it wasn't for anything that you said or did, it's just how the relationship progressed. Sometimes I've met a man or a woman and things hit it off great. I thought we had great chemistry. Then after a week, we all just started to hate each other. It wasn't because of something I said or did. It was simply how the cookie crumbled. Sometimes I met a man or woman and we didn't get along first 2 days. Then after 2 weeks, we just became best friends. You have to also consider that not every relationship is going to grow healthily, right? So you have to consider that maybe sometimes someone might ghost you, someone might not be speaking to you, someone might not move further from you because the relationship is not growing in a healthy manner, right? Now, the typical dating guru solution to this is to kind of move fast. I see a lot of dating gurus online recommending moving fast, moving with tenacity, trying to close a deal while things are still open. If someone really liked you, even if it was a woman, they'd probably allow more time to pass and you wouldn't have to be worried about it. If someone really liked you. If it was up in the air how they felt about you, how they liked you, then yeah, I feel like maybe these guys would need to rush things and it's not necessarily the right thing to do. Right? So reason number two, you have to consider that not every relationship is going to grow in a healthy manner. And you have to realize that even if you're talking to a girl who's a good girl, who wouldn't do any bad things to you, you have to consider that not every relationship is going to grow in a healthy way, right? And you should recognize when you're entering a relationship that isn't healthy and, you know, probably not get into it, from the beginning, not grow it from the beginning if you recognize that it's going somewhere that's a bad place, right? Now, reason number three is girls have many options, right? A lot of these dating gurus, a lot of these guys selling you dating courses, they film themselves doing cold approach. They film themselves talking to lots of women. They possibly film themselves getting a number. They possibly film themselves hugging women. They don't really film their interactions after that. They don't film their dates. They don't film how things progress, right? They don't let you know if they went all the way with the girl. They don't let you know if the girl ghosted them. And that's usually for a reason. Sometimes you don't know what you're looking at, right? Girls naturally have a playful and flirtatious personality. Now, what that means is if you go out in the world and speak to women and, you take care of yourself, you're a decent looking guy. You might get some girls that accept your compliments, that smile at you, that wave at you. They might literally give you their number. But, that interaction is completely different from her choosing you to go further than you, right? Choosing you to be someone they get to know better, choosing you to open the door to and invest their time and energy into you, right? Girls have lots of different options. Girls have lots of guys that might be interested in them in any particular time. And it takes them a little bit more time, a little bit more energy for them to get to know you, for them to get to like you. And even when that's true, it's still not necessarily a slam dunk, right? It's never really a slam dunk, I would say. It's like a plant, it's delicate. You got to let it grow, right? And hopefully it goes somewhere good for you. So these are three reasons, right? Not typically talked about online, why getting a healthy relationship with a woman is not as easy as the guys online advocate for. The guys online advocate that it might be, easy to get started, to get some type of result with a woman. The guys online might advocate for that. But if you're talking about growing a healthy relationship with a woman, taking things further, someplace or it goes someplace good and doing that consistently, it's not an easy gig. And this is not a negative mindset thing. I'm talking about making sure she's a healthy person, making sure it's a healthy relationship, making sure it goes somewhere you want to go. It's not that easy to fulfill all those three conditions consistently with higher quality women. And you're going to see a lot of these dating gurus, dating YouTubers, they might have good intentions when they tell you to go approach women and, to go try your best, go go speak to a whole bunch of women in clubs, in public, whatsoever. They might have good intentions while they tell you to do that to get you some type of result, but not every result is going to be an ideal result for you, right? A lot of guys are looking for something deeper than some random person they met on the street or they just had a kiss with. A lot of guys are looking to be loved, fulfilled, for something a little bit more deeper than meets the eye, right? So that's three reasons you should keep in mind that the game is not as easy as a lot of guys tell you, and three things you should keep in mind to stop yourself from kind of losing yourself in how the game actually works.